you give us a list of some of the things that you feel like you've compromised in with this relationship?
Like sleeping times.
Explain.
So Ryan doesn't like it if I wake up early to go to the gym or I accidentally wake him up.
It's the final commitment ceremony, and what did you expect? Nothing new happened. It's exactly the same thing that we expected to happen happened. The fact that we had Adrian and Afina deciding to bury their heads in the sand, nothing new there. For Karina and Paul, I'm surprised that everything was happy-go-lucky and they weren't held to account. And Jackie and Ryan, Jackie's theatrics have continued till the end. They have continued till the end. What did we expect? Did we expect her to change? No. The fact that when she was being held to account, she fake cried. Why? Why? Even the experts were taken aback. The confusion amongst the rest of the couples was entertainment gold, especially Jeff, because Jeff knows what was in the letter. And so Jeff knows, and everybody knows that Ryan has really put up with a lot. And for him to speak up now, it shows you that he's done, he's at his wit's end. And how Jackie doesn't get that, I don't get it. I love that Adrian had to speak up for Ryan, and it's like, oh my God. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 33. Wow, it's hard to believe that this is the final commitment ceremony, really. It seems like yesterday when the season started. Anyway, you have all the couples getting ready for the night because it's final commitment ceremony, and people are sort of, reflecting or reminiscing on the journey to get to here. And you have everyone. You have Karina and Paul. They're in a good space. They're happy. They're giddy. Ree and Jeff, they have always been good. Their only drama came in the form of Jackie, and everyone is talking. And the main topic this week is Beth and TJ, because Beth and TJ, nobody can understand what's going on with the two of them. I don't think Beth and TJ themselves can understand what's going on. I think it's too much of a burden to expect TJ to be, Beth's first boyfriend and first husband. I know people do that, but they're a bit sort of set in their ways. It's not high school sweethearts. These are people that one has dated and has got experience of dating and the other person doesn't. And I think this is the pressure that TJ is facing, in the sense that he's questioning himself, that do I want the responsibility of being her first boyfriend? Do I want the responsibility of being, her husband? I think there might be some issues there that we are not being told about. And I wish we had a full sort of perspective of what's going on in their marriage, because he is sort of dancing around the truth, whereas she wants to know, once the experiment ends, are we continuing or is this the end of it? And sadly, he can't give her that. And I need to know, why can't he give her that to say, yes, we'll continue, or no, we won't? He was very vague in his response. So obviously she assumes that they're staying in the experiment, and I don't know how long that will last. You have Jackie and Ryan. Jackie, for me, Jackie is not even delusional. I think Jackie does it on purpose. She reminds me of that girl from last season who was crying after she'd eaten steaks, and then she saw the cows and she started crying and saying, sorry, I ate you. And the theatrics that she used to do, and she used to say, I hear voices, I do this, I do that. That's the same with Jackie, because Jackie hears what she wants to hear. Jackie behaves in a way that she thinks this is the way I should be behaving. It's as though someone is pointing to her and saying to her, okay, now cry, now laugh, now say this, now say that. It doesn't seem authentic and genuine. And for her to say, Ryan didn't tell me that he wants to leave, so we're still staying. It's like, Jackie, he told you he's done. He's come to the end of the road with you. What more do you want? Well, he should appreciate the fact that he's with me. In some sense, yes, because he'll know what he doesn't want in a partner. You have been the biggest red flag for him. So whoever he dates after you, as soon as they present with the same thing as you, he's going to say, I'm done, and he's going to check out. And sadly, he'll have to deal with the trauma and everything else you've put him through. Ryan, on his part, is right to say, I feel like I'm a project and someone is working on me and turning me into their idea of what they want. Sadly, Jackie's wants and needs are not set in reality. They're set in a sort of idealistic world, whether she's read about it, she's seen it in a movie, or someone has told her about it. It doesn't seem realistic and authentic what she wants in a partner. And sadly, she's taken this man through the windmill just because she's been trying to change him to be an idea of, a figment of her imagination, which isn't fair on Ryan, really. I hope she writes leave, because it would be very cruel and very selfish for her to want to stay when he said he wants to leave. We've actually seen him write leave, so it's before he even went in for the commitment ceremony. I can't wait to hear what happens when they sit down with the experts. Oh, everybody arrives for the final commitment ceremony. The gents come in first, obviously, and then the ladies come in second. And you can see Jackie's trying to sort of get Ryan's attention. And Ryan is not even paying her attention. He's not even looking at her. I think she's trying to gauge to see whether he's written leave or stay. And we all know he's written leave because he's fed up of her. Anyway, everybody sits down and the experts call Jamie and Dave as the first couple up. Jamie and Dave have really had a sort of a rough go around this past week. And so everyone, I think, is taken aback because of the sudden change. I think Dave was very stressed about his dad. And I think the idea of committing to Jamie when he had other personal issues going on is what might have sort of pulled him back. I think most of the guys that are panicking because they know the experiment is coming to an end. And whatever they say on TV, they will have to live up to it. So if they say they're committing to someone and they're in love with someone, then the world is going to know and they're going to expect them to live according to that. And so I think this is why you find these guys are sort of second guessing their decisions or their choices. I love that the experts were able to sort of ask them questions about what happened, because the last time we saw you, the two of you were falling apart and suddenly you're back to normal. What happened to make things right? And I think on Dave's part, it's seeing his dad and realizing that his dad was doing amazingly well. I think it's seeing his dad and his family and how they responded to Jamie. And that's the reason why he's in this space where he can actually see a future with her. I think the family had a big hand in sort of telling him about what they liked about Jamie and how they saw her fitting into their family. One thing about Jamie is she's very talkative. Yes, she can be confrontational. Yes, she can do ABCD. But I love the fact that when it's time to be serious, she can be serious, because she did not just fall all over herself just because he bought her a $400 perfume. She did not fall all over herself just because, he introduced her to his dad, but she's actually taking time to sort of assess to see, is this person the right person for me, or is this done? Can I go home? And so I love that she stood on herself and she said, at the moment, I'm not in love with him. She can't have him breaking her heart last week and then come back and say, oh, actually, I'm still in love with him. No, she is hurt. She has the right to sort of feel how she feels. And I love that Dave is really trying to reassure her, because he is the one who created the problem. She's not the one who created the problem. He is the one who created the problem. And now he's trying to see how he can sort of resolve the issues that he has in order to sort of move on. The fact that he says he can see a future, he can see them sort of, or he can see himself falling in love with her in the future, is good for him. I really hope he's serious and he's not just doing it for TV. Jamie has done a couple of interviews where she's gone about my husband. So I hope they're still together, because they, as the experts said, they really do make a cute couple. They both chose to stay. Is anyone surprised? No, not really. Next up is Rhea and Jeff. Rhea and Jeff have been very cautious in everything that they've done. They've been very cautious in the sense that they have been cautious in sort of initiating physical intimacy. They've been cautious in sort of having certain conversations. And I think the fact that Rhea is non-confrontational is something that has really helped in their sort of relationship. They're asked, have you had a disagreement or a fight? They said no. I think the only time we saw Rhea upset was the Jackie situation, and Jackie actually triggered her because it took a lot for Rhea to be upset. And so to hear them say that they're in this happy space, they feel like they've developed a lot more than they did the first time round, being in the experiment and having the tools that they were given by the experts has really allowed them to grow. You have Rhea saying, she's learned that you don't always need to be right in a relationship. This is something that she's brought in from her previous connections. That was sweet. That was really sweet to hear. here. And so I love that they've both recognized where they needed to work, what work they needed to do. You had Jeff talk about that he used to be a poor communicator in his previous relationships, and now he's way better. So it was really cute to see. It was really good to hear them sort of express themselves and express how they've developed as a partnership. They spoke about the fact that, Jeff gave Ree a key when they went home, and Ree was really excited because to her that provided a sense of commitment. A certain level of commitment, actually, because I said this before, giving her a key anytime she can just walk in, so he knows he's not in a relationship. He knows he can see a future with this woman, and this is why he's done that. Because I think if he was with someone like Jackie, he would never have given her a key. He would actually want to change a dress. And so I love that they were very truthful with one another through this experience. They are very grateful for all the help that they've received, because they've realized that they actually had a good thing going. The first time it didn't work around was because they didn't have the tools, and it seems like they were coming out of previous relationships, if I'm not mistaken. Was that Paul and Karina? But I love that they took their time with a lot of things that has allowed them to sort of create this massive foundation that they can sort of build on. Next up is TJ and Beth. TJ and Beth for me are a bit of a shocking one, in the sense that you can see TJ is checked out, but TJ is trying to be polite. TJ knows he's on TV. TJ knows he's being recorded, and everything he says is going to be analyzed. And so I have a feeling he knows how he really feels about this girl, but he won't be honest until, even if they say yes at the commitment ceremony. Well, at final vows, I have a feeling he will eventually tell her, but he might still be diplomatic in how he says it, because he's saying that, his feelings for her are not growing. He's using the same excuse that Dave used. And I think the reason why he's saying that is he's either got the ick, something happened during homestays, or she said something that's triggered him, and this is why he's checked out, because you can see he's checked out. He really has, and I don't think he has any plans to sort of make things develop, but at the same time he's trying to be careful in what he says and how he says it to her, because you even had John saying to him, why does it seem like you're not attracted to this girl? And he says, no, that's not the reason. He's not attracted to her. He got the egg. We'll never know what gave him the egg, but I feel he got the egg and is checked out, and he's never going to check in. He's just staring blankly, and it makes you question, what is it that happens, or what are these people told to say that always make them appear to be sort of going through an internal battle. He writes leave, she writes stay, because she says, I've never checked out on anything. And it's like, this is a bit of a betrayal on Beth when you look at it, because she did have a conversation with him before they left the dinner party, and she told him that she still wanted to stay, and he agreed to it, only for him to write leave. And it's like, is he writing leave because he's been told to write leave, or is he writing leave because he's checked out and he wants to leave, or is he writing leave to fit a narrative or a storyline? I still don't get it. Yes, I know people are questioning, why did he have sex with her if he had checked out? But still, at the same time, it's a bit complicated to assess, and he knows it's not a good look for him to have initiated physical intimacy with someone he says his feelings for are not growing, and he's doing it as though he did an act of service, and it's like, that's not an act of service that anyone wants. You don't want to have pity sex, so the idea that it is implying that he had sex out of pity because this is something that she wanted didn't make sense. I know the experts sort of hold people to account, but I think at times they've been holding the wrong people to account. And I feel like at times they've been asking the wrong questions. They should have asked him, what has changed from how you were before to suddenly you're in this place where you're saying that, your feelings are not growing. What is it? I wish we could find out. Anyway, Beth on her part chose to stay. Surprised, not really. Next up is Adrian and Afina. Adrian and Afina, I'm happy that the experts are finally calling it out, because at the end of the day, they have decided to bury their heads in the sand and sort of, play turtle because they don't want to face the reality. I think they have amazing chemistry. They must have great physical intimacy. The problem is Afina has a child. Adrian has already said he doesn't want someone with a child, and they have chosen not to discuss it. So they are asked, okay, how was the homestay? They both say they had a great time. Afina reveals that her sister was able to see them. in a bright light, and they had their mother there to mitigate and sort of played, referee when things got out of hand, which was to be expected. Nothing was said about the read that Cleo gave Adrian. Adrian said he was there to have a great time, and that he did. They didn't discuss about him having met her child, but they were asked, okay, the experience is coming to an end. What happens next? Is Adrian moving, or are you moving? And Afina has always said she's not moving because of her child. Her child's schooling is there, her child's family is there, everything for the child is there. Adrian on his part is saying Sydney is his home, that's where his family and his work are, and he doesn't see himself sort of moving away from that. And so I love that they were called to account and they were told, we're having final vows. It's time to be honest with one another. It's time to be realistic. Stop burying your heads in the sand and saying, we're going to sort things out when the time comes. Because Afina is saying she's in a very good space with Adrian at the moment and she doesn't want to say or do anything to ruin it. And it's like, but you can't be in a relationship where you're afraid to sort of voice your opinion just in case your partner will get upset. If you are in this space where you feel you have something you want to discuss, then discuss it now. I feel like they should have discussed it in the experiment. That way the experts could have played mitigator. But no, Afina was too happy-go-lucky, and she was happy that she and Adrian were doing whatever they were doing, and she was giddy that she was giving her what she wanted. And so she has decided to continue to go as they are. Adrian on his part wanted to be on TV. We all know Adrian wanted to be on TV from the moment he blew up when he wasn't included in the promo. So the idea that anyone expected him to sort of say he's leaving is unbelievable, is delusional. He's busy on TikTok at the moment with Elliot. They've decided to create their own page because Billy and Dave have their own. So he's busy enjoying himself. He's having an amazing time. I don't think he's really serious about getting married. I think Adrian went there wanting to be on TV and he got what he wanted. Next up is Karina and Paul. Karina and Paul, for me, have been the teacher's pet this season, in the sense that they've got the positive spin on whatever was going on with the two of them. They haven't had their feet held to the fire because they've had issues. They're not Ree and Jeff. They have actually had issues, big issues in the experiment that have just been brushed over, or the producers and the experts have sort of fought their battle to sort of get them out of the mess that they're in. They spoke about homestays. They spoke about the fact that her family really liked him. They're very welcoming. They spoke about religion and, her wanting her children to be baptized. And so he is open to the idea of that. And it's like, I always don't get it. I said it last time. I don't get it when someone sort of has found God and is now wanting everybody else to sort of conform to that idea, in the sense that, yes, she goes to church. Yes, she prays, but it's not a must for him to go to church. He can choose to go to church. He can choose not to go to church. What about if he insists to her that I want to marry someone who doesn't go to church? Is she going to leave her faith because of him? I don't get it. We seem to have brushed over the issues that they had last week. Nothing was addressed. I don't get how she, Karina got away with saying whatever she said about Cleo and her feet weren't held to the fire, and how he punched the door and was held accountable just for a little bit, and then suddenly it's completely forgotten about, because we're talking about how an amazing journey they've had in this experience, how they've been good to one another, how they've been sort of caring towards one another. And it's like, there's more to this marriage that we have left out, more to this marriage that we should have addressed, that we have decided to ignore and sort of focus on the positives. Why? I do not know. I don't know whether, she was a plant or Karina was a plant, or what exactly happened in there. I'm still curious as to how they can get to the end of the journey without us addressing the big red flags that we saw in the experience. They both chose to stay. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. They're playing happy couples. They're going to play happy couples until they leave the experiment. If I were a betting woman, if you were to ask me, out of the couples that are happy at the moment, who's going to be the first to break up? My money's on Paul and Karina. And I'll stick to it 10 toes. Because if you compare Ree and Jeff, even Jamie and Dave with their issues, and you compare them to Paul and Karina, I bet my money out of those 3 couples, Paul and Karina will break up first, unless it financially benefits them. Unless it financially benefits them, then they might have a relationship of convenience in order to stay in the experience. We're not surprised they stayed. I have a feeling on final vows they're going to say yes, until this whole hoopla came up, whereby apparently the network and everything was reported. I think that's when Karina would want to distance herself from Paul. But otherwise, for her to say, oh, he's a very nice person, he's this. But last week you said it felt like being punched in the chest. Oh my God, I digress. Last but not least, Jackie and Ryan. We all know Ryan is done. Ryan is checked out. He is ready to go. His bags are packed and is out the door, because he has had to endure a lot with Jackie, and his patience. I don't think people give him enough credit for how patient he has been with this young lady. I really don't. I think people call him Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate from Timu or whatever, but he has really exercised a lot of patience and sort of understanding with Jackie, given everything that they've gone through. The fact that he was allowed to speak his truth and say, I'm done, homestays was it for me, I feel like I can never be enough for Jackie. And Jackie continues to deny that she made a list for him, continues to deny that she told him she was going to shave his beard while he was asleep. It's like, Jackie, please, you're being recorded for TV. It's going to play out. So the idea that you feel like you can sort of try and cover it up doesn't make sense. Producers are going to play it just to show you that who's the liar. Because you are the one who's telling the not so truths. For Jackie to start crying when, John was holding her feet to the fire and asking her, do you know how this man feels? And then she starts sort of saying, oh, I don't appreciate being shouted at. I don't appreciate being talked down to. It's like, Jackie, everything has been about you from the moment you walked down the aisle and realized he had a beard and he had brunette hair. You wanted someone with blonde hair. That you've been stuck on, and you've tried to sort of paint him in your image. You've tried to contort him and to reform him. And for her to say, I've made a lot of compromises, and to be asked, what are the compromises? Well, I've said, he puts plates in the sink, he doesn't wash them, he does this, he doesn't do, and then he, the TV, I've allowed him to watch the TV. And it's like, this is a grown man. How do you allow him to watch TV? How does that make sense in your head that you're saying, I've allowed him to watch TV? I think Jackie wanted to be on TV. This is what I'm going to say. Whether she plans on auditioning for a role in something else after this, whether she wants to be, in TV or movies, only she knows. Because her erratic behavior doesn't make sense. For the experts to have to pacify her, why they were pacifying her, only they know. Because she doesn't seem to appreciate that this man has a voice and an opinion that's different from her. I truly believe that she believes what she said when she said, nobody leaves me. And so she thinks she's the prize and everybody has to bow down to her and nobody should criticize or sort of go against whatever she believes. Because the idea that she was crying, the idea that you had Ryan write leave and she wrote stay doesn't make sense. This man has told you from the time you came back from homestays that I don't want to be here. I'm ready to go home. And for you to say, I want a conversation, you having a conversation with him has nothing to do with you sort of sabotaging him and writing stay. Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to talk to you, he's just going to go to the apartments, stay locked in his apartment and not talk to you. He's so caring. I don't know why he was consoling her when she was crying and telling her that I feel upset when you're crying. No, just tell her, I'm sorry, I'm done. Oh, your friends yelled at me. Jackie was looking for anything to throw mud on Ryan. That way she looks like, she's the angel. And sadly for her, with the comments she's made on TikTok, I think the producers have gone all out to show her and how erratic she was during the experience, which is really sad. I can't wait to see what happens. Apparently, they're bringing people that were auditioned for the show but didn't get cast. I don't know whether they're going to do a partner swap or what exactly the challenge is going to be. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 32. Bye guys.